the public the way they are when they're driving these high speeds and driving so erratically. But you don't know the state of the driver. We don't know their level of intoxication, whether they're under the influence of drugs, whether they're in a mental crisis. We just don't know those things that can drive their activity and their actions. Again, cutting cars off left and right all the way through here. Crazy driving, even without the ground units behind them.
Darren, because he is he's posing such a danger to people on the ground, will police continue to track him from the air?
Oh no, cul-de-sac trapped.
Looks like he's trapped.
Yeah.
But no one's following him, so this is probably a foot bail.
Ground units, it's hard to tell.
Okay.
Hopefully there is a police helicopter overhead.
And it's a foot bail.
Yeah, we see him bailing right there.
And then the driver or the passenger took off as well.
We're told that a ground unit is now behind him, so the driver we see take off.
Okay, in this situation, they're setting up a perimeter
to
try and get them in. Yep.
All right, we're being told that there are no ground units behind him, but we did see the driver foot bail. I think we saw his cell phone or something flashing in his hand, right?
And you could see the passenger get out as well. And, you know, this is one of those situations, unfortunately, a lot of times they get out in a neighborhood like this, it's dark, and if there's no ground units on the floor, it's easy for them to disappear and just, go off into the night. And, this driver or this guy, just walking on his phone, who knows who they're trying to get a hold of, but they probably think that they made it and they escaped. And
you can see from our chopper, we can see the streets he's on right now. He doesn't seem to be in a hurry. Is that because he just doesn't see police units around? Maybe he's not as scared right now, but he's just calmly walking across the street with that cell phone in his hand.
Yeah, well, not only that, but I have yet to see a shot that shows a police helicopter involved in this pursuit. So if there's no air coverage and there's no ground coverage, then yes, they're essentially just walking away. The hope would be that law enforcement will get there, set up a perimeter, and take them into custody. But if not, they'll be using forensic techniques on that vehicle to try and identify who that driver was, and then go by way of complaint. They can do fingerprints, they can swab for DNA. They've got multiple forensic things that they can do in that vehicle to try and ultimately identify who that driver was.
Yeah, so right now, that is the driver we see right here. This is all in South Whittier. If you live in this neighborhood, obviously lock your doors. You never know what could happen with this person. And who knows, maybe this person lives in that neighborhood as well. But just by watching this, Rachel, oftentimes we've learned in pursuits, a lot of people generally go back to neighborhoods that they're familiar with. This could be a place that he lives, grew up, who knows, or maybe that cul-de-sac really threw them off and they're like, all right, we've got nowhere else to go. Let's act like we're just walking.
Yeah, Chris, I would say that I don't think that he's familiar with this area. Typically, when they are, they go into areas that they're familiar with where they know they can hide. They don't just walk down the street. So I would venture to say that he probably is not familiar with this area. He's probably on the phone, maybe calling somebody to come pick him up, trying to get to a landmark that he can tell the person where to come. But we just don't know. We've still got no presence from law enforcement.
Darren, we know his passenger also bailed. It was hard to see if it was a female or a male passenger, but the passenger kind of went in the other direction. They kind of went two separate ways. So the passenger is obviously still out there. The driver right here is just, again, calmly walking down the street, casually on the phone. Maybe he's pulling up GPS as to trying to gauge where he is right now and where to head, right?
Yeah, who knows? And it's always law enforcement. If there was a law enforcement helicopter overhead, they would typically follow the driver because the driver is the one that we have the highest degree of charges against, the felony evading. We don't know what the passenger's role was. We know that they ran, but the driver is typically the person that we'll follow and try and take them into custody and then backtrack and try and get the passenger after that. But again, absolutely no law enforcement presence here. To try and contact this.
Is this surprising to you, Darren, that there is no law enforcement presence?
Yes, it is. I would have thought that they would have gotten a helicopter up, although I'm not in Orange County right now. I don't know if the weather is. I don't know if there's good visibility to launch the helicopter or what the scheduling is on a Sunday evening right now. So, but yes, I'm very surprised that there is no law enforcement presence right now.
Well, our chopper is certainly up there right now. Our chopper is right over the driver. You can kind of see the streets he's on. You see right there. My vision isn't too good. Does it say Lettingwell Road?
Lettingwell Road.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, well, looks like
maybe he's getting picked up.
Yeah, Lettingwell Road.
I mean, if this driver's smart, stay away from him and you know, don't get him. But I mean, the biggest takeaway from this, Rachel, is the fact that the driver is no longer on the road.
Right.
And he was driving pretty erratically. And, you know, even though a lot of people probably are home getting ready for work, a lot of kids going back to school tomorrow as well, I'm glad this driver is off the road.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm
But
wondering.
whether he's armed, that's still unknown.
I mean, well, there we go. There's a ground unit right there.
And it looks like he's
Surrendering?
potentially cooperating. Let's hope so.
All right, let's see what happens here. Yeah, officers are probably yelling commands at him right now. And looks like he is putting down his phone.
Hands up.
Surrendering, right?
This is what we want to see.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, the fact that he wasn't running also, you know, I guess just kind of waiting for his fate, which is, you know, he's in police custody right now. But, you know, traffic violation, we don't know what else that was from. We don't know who this other person is, where they went, if that was a stolen truck, their truck. But all things that we hope to learn. And now we see 2 black and whites right there, so.
Yeah, well, and there was Chris, there was a second there that I thought I saw a night sun on it. So there could be a possibility that a police helicopter got overhead and was directing those ground units in.
All right, there he goes, backing up. Hands up, down on his knees. This is what we want. He's going to be taken into custody right now. I'm sure they're probably going to investigate the truck as well, do some search inside and see what they can find.
Absolutely. Good news. The driver has been arrested. We do want to let you know that the passenger is still outstanding. We will, of course, keep an eye on the developments of this pursuit. We'll let you know if they do catch up with that passenger. But we are going to move on right now with other news. President Joe Biden said today evacuations from Afghanistan are ramping up. But tonight, there's also reports of the Taliban becoming increasingly violent with Afghanis outside the security of the Kabul airport walls. A new CBS News poll finds most Americans approve of withdrawing U.S. troops, less approve of